by an expected crowd of 500 at Seattle Center this Friday afternoon. The organizer and permit holder for the first ever city-approved pot party, which conveniently for many will be taking place just before the Pearl Jam show at Key Arena. The celebration, by the way, is to commemorate the one-year anniversary of the legalization of marijuana in Washington State. Ben Livingston, welcome to the Pot River Show. Hi, Ben.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
All right. So now I'm surprised you got your permit because of federal laws, and they tried at first to say no, didn't they?
Yeah, that was sort of the initial reaction as well, was, well, you can't
Even though it's legal, we can't give it to you because
Federal
there's
law.
this thing hanging over our head. How did you get around it?
Well, I'm persistent, first off.
Okay.
I think that's a necessary feature to be able to get such a permit. And
So you just walk to the permit office? Where is the permit office?
it's in the Armory, in the food court area.
The food
First
court?
thing is to find the permit
Yeah,
office.
I have no idea where it is. Like, I once tried to pay a parking ticket by person, and you got to park, you got to walk into a little building, you got to meet these ladies who do not want to see you. I imagine getting a permit is a little bit like that.
Yeah, but thankfully you can call. So that's...
So you called them on the phone?
I initially called them rather than just walking in and saying,
Okay.
hey, give me a permit. And so I wasn't pleased with the initial reaction, right? I thought, well, we just legalized marijuana. How is it that
I can't have a party.
I can't? Well, yeah, why am I treated differently when trying to rent a public park
Look
than
at
somebody
Ben.
who doesn't?
Yeah.
Ben's all buttoned up.
I know.
More of a nice guy. I just got to say this for a second. This is not the guy who's going to be...
You forgot one button, though. You got
Yeah.
one button unbuttoned.
it's
That's
not-
kind of
totally-
that's
not
kind of
like
the
I-
Austin Powers chest hair hole coming
Part
through.
stoner.
I
Yeah.
didn't think Sideshow Bob was going to be coming in here.
I
but
know.
Still, like,
This
look
is-
at Ben. He's like, hello, I'm
This
here for a
is
permit.
Ben Livingston. I was
Yeah.
thinking Ben Livingstone.
I know,
You
me
know, I
too.
was thinking a big guy with a lot
All
of
right.
hair.
This week.
I have
yeah.
a day job.
What do you do?
I'm a web developer,
Of course
Okay,
you are.
you're not an airline pilot.
I love
No.
this guy.
All right.
Look at him.
not a trucker.
So
And
cute.
what do you develop on the web?
Websites.
You make sites for people. Yeah. Well, a web developer,
It's true, Bob. You're
I
absolutely
think,
right.
generally means building websites.
Yeah,
Right?
for sure.
All right. So you were persistent, and finally, did they just say, "All right, what turned the
Well,
corner"?
it took me over 3 months, quite frankly, and I had to involve other city officials. I basically contacted both the city attorney's office and the mayor's office, and I started the conversation, which they were already having at the time, of where can you, as a tourist, the question for me as a tourist, where can you smoke pot in this town? If you can come here and you could buy this stuff starting in 6 months, but you can't use it, you can't smoke it on the street, you can't use it in the place that you buy it, you can't go to like a pot tavern or a coffee shop, you can't even use it in your hotel room, even if you have a smoking room, even if they allow tobacco smoking in those hotel rooms, the odds are they will not allow you to smoke cannabis in those hotel rooms.
You're like a man without a country.
Yes,
it's a
it's
little bit
true.
like
Yeah.
fireworks too. You buy fireworks on the reservation, you're supposed to blow them all up at the reservation. You can't drive them off the reservation.
Well, at least there you
Yet
can blow 'em
cars
up on the
leave
reservation.
Yeah, but cars leave every day.
It's funny, the last hotel I rented over on the peninsula, they made me sign a thing saying I would not smoke pot in my room. They said, even though it's legal, we want you to know that no smoking
They got the
means...
special sheet out for Joe.
Yeah, no pot smoking. It was a nice hotel, too.
They don't give everyone that sheet,
So-
Joe. You know that, right?
So they finally said yes. Now,
They finally acquiesced, yeah, and said yes.
and then you got the permit. Do you have it with you?
I do not.
I wanna see. Can you-
Honestly, I don't even have a copy of it.
How come?
Well, I signed it, and I usually don't have a copier on me, so I tend to just trust that the system's going to work.
It's funny because I read the permit. It is online, so I don't.
Yeah, it's-
it amazes me you don't have a copy because I looked at it and it gets down to, what kind of refreshments will be served. Will there be? There's extra fees if you're going to broadcast this event. I mean, it gets into.
That's all standard contract at the Seattle Center, quite honestly. There's a 4-page contract. The only thing that's quite unique is the fact that for the first time ever, there's about a half page added on an outdoor marijuana consumption area. That is new, and that took, I think that came from the city attorney's
Like a
office. and
beer
took
garden?
3 months. Yeah, essentially like a beer garden. And we have a number of requirements to do this, including double fencing. They want what's called a smoking moat. And I've never had a
A
moat.
smoking moat.
I've never had a moat before.
I did that in college. You need a staircase and somebody who's
Well,
really strong.
It's like what they do for beer too, though. Don't they have a double fence for a beer garden?
I have not thrown
That's
a
why
beer garden,
like a
so I don't know.
12-year-old gets over the first fence, but they nail him before he gets over the second one.
There's only one fence for the beer garden, but there's a reason, because beer does not smell like 25 feet away. I'm guessing they made it so it's 25 feet around, so because you can't smoke within 25 feet of the public here.
Ah.
You can't smoke within 25 feet of public buildings.
Right. So I'm guessing your moat is 25 feet, or is it?
The moat is 8 feet, but
Mm-hmm.
in addition to that, beyond on the inside of the moat, there will be another 12 feet between that and the canopy area, the smoking area, essentially.
Is the moat going to be like a Willy Wonka chocolate milk moat? Because that's what I would
Eat
suggest.
your way through it.
Eat your
I
way
had
through.
actually, when I think of moat, I usually think of castles and moats. I hadn't actually
Yeah.
thought
Right.
of the Wonderland moat, which I think is a much better
Chocolate
idea.
milk moat.
Now, will you be making money at this thing? Selling
I
refreshments?
I hope. I feel like I basically won an argument, and now I have to pony up. Like
Right.
I won the bet, and now I have to.
Now, did Pearl Jam in any way underwrite this or help you
Convenient.
out?
It's awfully convenient.
Do you do their website?
No, it is Friday, December 6th, which is the final date on their North American tour, and it is a hometown show at Key Arena.
Oh my god, with a huge pot
Well,
party outside.
That is
Oh my god.
that is a coincidence that I am
guys.
aware of.
And you're at the Fun Forest, the old Fun Forest. When we were kids, that was the amusement park. And I don't know if you know how much Mike McCready likes the Fun Forest, but he named his other band Flight to Mars after the ride that we all loved when we were kids. So there is a long history
Right.
of at least the guitar player liking the Fun Forest.
I like to say it's too bad they clear cut the Fun Forest, but we're gonna try to bring a little bit of the fun back. And I've also been saying that if Pearl Jam wants to come over and hang out either beforehand or afterwards, they're more than welcome to. We could bill them as Mike McWeedy, Stoned Gossard, and Hetty Vetter.
Yeah.
So you haven't thought about it at
You
all.
haven't thought about it.
No.
I'm aware of the coincidence, but
I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
Ben.
Is this totally like bring your own? It's like a BYOB, bring your own
BYO
bud.
BYOB, that's right. Bring your own bud. It is currently not legal to buy or sell marijuana in the state. There are no licensed retailers, so
so if it
needs
falls
to-
from the sky
elves
and
will
you
bring
catch it, bring it with you.
Yeah, when it rains.
And it is free, right, to get in.
Yeah, it's free.
Do you
donations
expect?
appreciated?
Are you looking for national media coverage?
I am not looking for national media coverage, but since it
Then
was in
let's end this right now.
Get out of here.
since it was in the Seattle Times, it's already blown up, and so there's been a lot of media coverage about it already.
Right.
And so I think that's already
Well,
over.
what's
as far
gonna be the expected thing that's gonna go down? Like, are you gonna have music? Is there
You
gonna
ever
be
been to a pot
food?
rally?
I have. Yes, been
So
to pot
people
rallies.
gather, they communally consume cannabis.
Yeah.
It's
That's
what-
pretty much
so-
it.
It's what we call a pot
They
rally.
don't
Smoke
accomplish
out.
anything else.
Yeah, no, we're gonna
This
we're
is
gonna
like
talk.
so. This is like Hemp Fest, but behind
there a
two
s-
chain link fences.
Is there a
kind of thing.
stage with music?
There will be a stage. Jim Page is playing. We also have DJ Riz is going to be on the Wheels of Steel, although they will be CDs.
But Seattle Jim Page, legendary folk
Yeah,
musician,
exactly.
is going to play. I love Jim.
It seemed like an appropriate player at the Seattle Center. I mean, he's played a fair number of times at
Oh,
the
that's
Seattle
cool.
Center.
All right.
Feel
And are you
the
advertising? Is there an admission?
No, admission, no, neither money nor guilt. Admit neither.
Wow. It's free.
Yeah. It's
So
free.
how do you make money?
Well, we've got some sponsors that I've convinced to kick down. Some vendors. I'm going to try to convince people to contribute donations, as well as we've got a collector poster.
Are
that
you
I've
not a
been selling.
nonprofit, are you?
Nope. We might just not earn profit.
We
He's
just
a
might
dude
be
with a permit.
It might be a money-losing operation.
Yeah.
the permit alone's a couple grand. Then you've got to set up a stage and stuff. How much do you think you're on the hook for?
10,000.
10 grand.
Yeah.
Wow. And you're doing this to make
Make a point.
a point. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we legalized cannabis. I'm a cannabis consumer. I believe that cannabis consumers are good people inherently, and that we have a right to utilize our public parks.
I think you're as good as anybody who consumes ice cream.
I don't know about that, but thanks.
I don't know about that.
Actually, you're probably both, right? How much do you consume? Like, do you smoke every day?
Sure. Why not?
I didn't mean to make you defensive.
No, was that defensive?
No, but I mean,
I invite you to come on down and consume as well. You know.
well, I don't. I had
doesn't
to,
smoke weed.
I
He's
had to
in
give it up.
recovery.
But I don't have. I've been a pro legalization.
Yes, you're
all along.
non-judgy
Yeah.
for
No, I
sure.
think the laws are onerous, stupid, and if you're going to license and sell liquor and not pot, it's ridiculous.
But people have to be cool at this thing. Otherwise, we're gonna.
well, define not cool.
This is there's going to be a lot of attention on it. And so this is one of those things where if people show up and the wrong people show up and mad action starts going, people throwing rocks through stuff, or if there's any vandalism, or if people are walking in the
any
street,
lawlessness at all
yeah,
will be amplified
It's gonna-
and won't help your point.
it's going to look bad. You have to figure out how to keep people cool.
At
Well,
any-
then you
at
have to
any
have
pot
really
rally-
good pot because
Yeah.
people get no energy when they have really good pot.
At any pot rally, we're going to have to deal with the anarchy that might happen, the rock throwing, the whatever, right?
Well,
And
I
by the
mean,
way, she brings up a good thing. Yeah, I know the rock throwing. It doesn't happen a lot. What about the very serious thing about people driving afterwards? Because this is going to be a new thing, a DUW, right? And are you going to have some messages there about people?
Yeah, my
not
plan
to
is to hand out some material to explain certain things about, one, the fact that we can't have that many people in this party to begin with, so try to use it as your launch pad.
Are you going to turn people away at 500?
I'm not, but the Seattle Center security will.
Okay. So they'll have someone with a clicker
Yeah,
keeping track.
absolutely.
Get that person stoned.
And
it'll be
people-
like 496, 497, 398.
What?
They will lose track.
A couple of things. People shouldn't be driving while high, just like they shouldn't be driving while drinking. The
Right.
Seattle Center has on-site alcohol sales all day long, and it's an issue that must be dealt with.
I hear light refreshments are going to be served. Is that true?
That may or may not be. That's
It's a whole other permit.
well, it's going to increase our cost by about 50%.
52309 on the texters. What do you think of this, folks? Is it a natural evolution of our law? And ask this weed guy where I can buy some weed. I'm serious. I really don't know. This person can't find any weed. I haven't tried it in 20 some odd years.
Yeah.
I imagine it's pretty easy, right, to find?
Oh yeah. I mean, if you haven't noticed, there's a dispensary on most every corner, right?
Okay. Funny, this guy has a pot smoking permit, but he forgot it.
Also, if you don't need to smoke cannabis either. There's going to be an area for cannabis topicals, so things that are actually massaged on your skin, and we'll have licensed massage therapists there that are displaying.
I wonder if I could
those.
do that.
yes.
I probably could.
No.
You wouldn't get high.
No.
Why
He
not?
can rub some of the lotions on himself.
Yeah, it'll go
I'm
right
all into
right through
lotions.
your skin. I mean, you can do it if you want, but it will affect you, I
I'll
believe.
show up in a pee test?
Yeah.
Would
it's-
it show up in a pee test?
You don't get
That's a
high
good
off
question.
that stuff. It's
I don't
Do
want to
they-
get high.
does-
That's the whole point. Yeah.
Do you have to take a pee test here?
I just like to be around cool
he gives
people.
himself pee tests just to make sure he's not pregnant. every
Not for
3
this
months.
job, they don't.